Hello, everyone. Welcome to another webinar here with Pictory. Excited about the topic today and really excited about today's guest. Just everything that he has experienced, the businesses that he's built, and, his experience with media, digital media, and kind of transition and the evolution of everything that's taken place over the last 20 years. As it were, we were talking backstage before we got started, and one of the things in preparation for this webinar today that I was researching was how long blogs have been around, and it really was kind of, I guess, a little bit. It took me aback a little bit, looking back at the timeline, thinking back in the '90s is when blogs started.
Yeah,
It made me feel really old at that time as well. But I want to go ahead and welcome Jeff Cobb. Jeff, thanks so much for being here and being part of the Pictory family.
hey, thanks for co-hosting this webinar, Mark. Yeah, it's funny, you and I were talking beforehand, and I started my first blog in 2007, which is still out there. It's Mission to Learn. You can go to missiontolearn.com. We still have it going. Hadn't gotten as much love lately, but even when I started, there were folks who'd been doing it for close to a decade. And I'm looking back now because we've created a lot of content there. We've created a lot of content in a lot of places. And one of the things I'm really excited about using Pictory for is taking some of that content and turning it into, video experiences that are more engaging and that can help us get some leverage out of what's really some great old written content. But these days, obviously it's very important to be out there on video, whether it's our faces talking or whether it's taking that content and doing some things with it that make it much more engaging and compelling. So playing around with Pictory, it's great, love it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do with it during this session today.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully I can share some good tips and tricks that the audience here can take away. Again, if you're just joining us, I put in the chat there, would love to just kind of understand where everyone is coming from. But we'll be talking today just about how you can leverage Pictory and how you're able to tap into that existing content and repurpose it into video content, which is what is being prioritized across the board from like a social media platform. Just about everything is turning to video. But one of the things that, Jeff, you have a big background in, right, is this evolution of public speaking and then kind of creating this whole digital presence. And, I know you've got a couple of things that are happening, different businesses, different things that you're working on all at the same time. And the one that we're talking about today, Learning Revolution, it's digital, right? It's 100% digital. So can you talk to us a little bit just about the evolution kind of that in-person stuff to the digital stuff, what you've seen, and then we can kind of jump into how people are able to leverage Pictory with any of that content, whether it be in-person or digital content, and ultimately able to repurpose that.
Yeah, I mean, when I got involved with all of this stuff back in the day, it was back in like the .com era. Talk about blogging being old. That's even like, just before blogging came along, and of course, everything was classroom based at that point. I was a classroom teacher. I was teaching in a university at that point when this sort of first wave of e-learning came along, and really the first wave of the web came along, and everybody going online and it becoming a serious thing with browsers and all that you could do there. And of course, with over the years with things like YouTube coming along, mobile devices coming along, everything's moved more and more digital. I mean, I think obviously there's still a place for standing up in front of a room and speaking, standing up in front of a room and teaching, but you've got to have that digital presence to go along with it. And I think a lot of people who are, traditionally from the classroom, or maybe are traditionally from that writing world, that you were talking about before, Mark, struggle with how to get their presence out there digitally with video, whether that's to market themselves or whether it's to actually deliver the experience, deliver the content. So, I mean, fortunately, it's gotten easier and easier. It's gotten less and less costly. And now with AI coming along, we've got tools that can really help to make that jump. And I mean, in the learning revolution world, it's critical. These are, everybody here wants to be able to teach, engage with their audience online in a variety of ways, not just as a course, but in your content marketing and the different ways that you interact. And you got to have the tools that help you get to video, get to digital to do that.
Well, I think that's the perfect segue, honestly, Jeff. I mean, we haven't even talked about this. It's not like we rehearsed that, but that was sort of a softball for me. So I really appreciate it. Again, just before we kind of jump into the meat and the potatoes of this webinar, one thing that you're going to be able to take away from today's session is how you can implement Pictory into your presentation and engagement strategy to help you redefine your reach and influence from a digital perspective. So that's really what we're here to talk about. We're here to kind of run through the tool. Stay tuned to the end. There's a special promotion that we have for anyone that's around here to the end that we have set up with Jeff and his organization. But we're going to be talking about kind of three secrets or myths, if you will, today. Kind of this idea of the engagement multiplier, video versus text, right? There's a lot of people that maybe are either pro video or pro text. Maybe you're both. I'm definitely both. I think there's room for both of those things to exist. But one of the key challenges is even the most compelling written content cannot necessarily match the engagement levels of video. And there are statistics to support that, right? Like 95% of a message that's delivered with video is able to be retained, but only 10% of that by text on the first pass. So it's something that you can ultimately tap into from an engagement retention perspective when you're trying to communicate with your audience. So that's the first one. The second one is how you can integrate this into social media. Social media has become sort of like the main backbone, right, for most people from a marketing perspective, and rightfully so. It's on everyone's phones. How do you stop the scroll? All of those things. I mean, my kids are 7 and 6, and they're already asking me, when can I get a cell phone, Dad? When can I get a cell phone? So, it's starting earlier and earlier. So how can you tailor that video content for those specific platforms based off of, kind of what works best for those platforms? We'll be talking about that as well. And then ultimately, how can you create a personal to, the branding and customization of these videos directly through Pictory? So, we want to kind of touch on that. And, again, stay around to the end. Once I get through this demo, we'll bring Jeff back on. Want to get his thoughts as far as, how he's been able to leverage this tool, and ultimately find out if he has any questions for me after I've gone through this demo. And I want to throw it out there to you as well. Anyone that's watching, as we go through this demo, please ask questions in the chat. We've got Jackie also from Jeff's team, who's going to be moderating that and making sure that we can address everything. But other than that, Jeff, any other questions, anything to add before I really kind of jump into this?
I think I'm going to leave it to you. That they say the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. So I'm going to let you serve up the pudding, and I'm going to step aside and let you do that.
Sounds good. We'll see you soon. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, everyone. We can jump through and talk about how Pictory is ultimately able to benefit anyone, course creators, marketers, sales professionals, product people, whatever you're trying to do. If you're trying to communicate and get that message across, Pictory is a great tool for your toolkit to allow you to turn some of that existing content into video content. So hopefully you all can see my screen here. Yeah, it looks like everything is coming through. So what is Pictory? Pictory is a generative AI video editing and video creation tool. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we exist to help customers, salespeople, content creators, course creators, you name it, take their existing content and turn that into video content. And you can do that in a variety of different ways. The three of which we're going to go over today are the ones, from left to right: script to video, article to video, which we are talking about blogs, taking your blogs, turning them into videos, and then ultimately the edit videos using text. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. Again, if there's any questions as I go, please let me know. Jackie also popped it there in the chat, and we will kind of take them as we go here. But first one, script to video. So very, very simple, just like it sounds. It's taking written text and turning that into video. So you might, I guess, wonder how we do that. Well, I'll just show you. Again, like Jeff said, the proof is in the pudding. So basically, it's putting in script. I'm just going to give it a name for test purposes here. But what you do is you essentially copy or type in text and put it into this script box. So I have something here in another screen, but I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it here. And then what we'll do is we'll separate this out. You can allow the AI to ultimately do it. I like to just separate it out like this, just so I've got it from a visual perspective, separated out based off of the individual scenes. So up here in the top right-hand corner, and you can go to create new scenes, either on sentence breaks or line breaks. So I'm going to do line breaks just to make sure that I have each one of these spaced out by their own scene. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and click proceed. This next screen is about templates. So I talked to you earlier on about this idea of branding. So the templates are what we start with from a branding perspective. How do you want the text to appear on screen? How do you want the logos, the fonts, the colors, all of that stuff to appear on screen? These are just templates, and you can go in and customize these later. I'm just going to go ahead and select one just for example purposes here, and then I can show you how to personalize it in a second. But you'll choose the aspect ratio, and this one I'm going to do 16:9. And then what's happening right now, we're doing this in real time. This is not being sped up. Our system is analyzing the text, and it's matching the text to our stock image and stock video library. We have integrations with Storyblocks, Getty Images, Pexels. We have over 12 million stock images and stock videos that you can choose from as part of your video. So you can see here, I've now put in text, and it's found images based off of the text that I have provided. You can click on each individual scene, and it's going to show you what images or videos, excuse me, in this case, that it found. So this one looks like someone is writing, taking notes. So you can see here in the text, actively engage with the material by taking notes. It's finding the text, or it's taking the text that you passed through, and it's finding relevant imagery to support or to allow your viewers, your customers, the ability to process and retain that content much quicker. So it's going to allow you to find that a lot quicker. Cheryl said, what a time saver. Absolutely. If you've had to search through any of these stock libraries in the past, this could take hours to find the relevant image. But with Pictory, we're able to do it in a matter of seconds and put that together. I'm going to go through these things down on the left-hand side pretty quickly here because you'll see these in all of the other demos as we go along as well. But the next one here is visuals. So the visuals is exactly what it sounds like. The libraries that we have as part of the subscription, it brings up any other relevant images. So you can see here we've got someone taking notes. If you want maybe someone taking notes on a computer instead of taking notes with a pen, you could select this one instead and swap it out. So it's really, really easy to find other corresponding images as part of it. Here, you can also upload your own assets. So you can go to My Uploads, and you can upload your own assets if you want to include your own imagery as part of that as well. So you could simply go to My Uploads and upload that. I see here in the comments, Sarah asks, is it limited to photography? It's not limited to just still images. You can also upload videos. You can see that most of these are videos. So this is a 25-second video that is provided by Storyblocks, but you can also upload your own videos as well as part of this. The next tab is audio. So audio takes two forms in Pictory. There's background music. So we have over 15,000 licensed royalty-free background tracks that you can apply as part of the video itself. We automatically choose one based off of the text that is being provided. So again, using that AI engine to find relevant audio as part of the video that you're creating. So hopefully to eliminate a bunch of the steps and save you time. So this one is called Drummer's Drone Dance. You can click play, it will play, and you can listen to the audio to make sure it's something that you like, or that is kind of the spirit of the video. If you wanted to choose something else, you'd simply hover over the background track and click apply as part of that. The other aspect of audio is what we call voiceover. So Pictory does essentially text to speech as well as part of this. So we have over 100 different AI voices to choose from. We recently, actually last week, integrated with 11 Labs, one of the industry leaders in the AI generated voices. And you can see that we have 51 of them here, from female, male, American accent, British accent, Australian accent. All of these are voices that you can click play. You can listen to the video, or you can listen to the voice itself, and then you can apply it to the video. So the text that's on screen would be read by the voice that you choose as part of it. So I'm going to go through this next one pretty quickly here. Text, pretty simple. Just adding text on the screen. If you wanted to add like a heading, maybe you're doing a product release or something specific that you wanted to call out, you can do that pretty easily, as part of that. The next one here, elements. So if you're sharing this video on social, or you're wanting to create something that is catchy, you can choose from different emojis, GIFs, stickers that you can place on the video as well. And to place them on the video, you simply just click on the emoji. It's going to put it on the screen. You can drag to move it around with your mouse. If you don't want it on there, you simply click the delete button and it's gone. So this idea of creating videos is now becoming templatized, if you will, as opposed to the traditional process of storyboarding something out, finding all of the relevant background images, etc. We're able to do all of that with AI to save you a lot of time. This next one is branding. So we talked about branding. How do you brand the videos? If you have your own website, your own company logo, etc., you can upload these logos here and have that logo put in on all of your scenes. So you can easily do that right from here and create a branded template that you can apply to all future videos. And I'll show you how you're able to do that on one of the next kind of use cases that we walk through here, because I have a saved template that I can show you how to do that on. But here you can upload your own logo just simply by toggling this switch on. You can see that it activates the intro slide, which it puts it here at the bottom. You can see the logos in the top right-hand corner. I can move it around just simply by clicking the logo position on this little grid. I can change the size by using the slider. It automatically resizes it. I can change the opacity so I can make it more opaque or less opaque, etc. So again, so much easier to create videos and make edits to those videos using Pictory. So if from here, when I'm done, I simply would click download video, and this video is going to be created and made available to me in my project section. Every video that you create with Pictory is saved in your account, so you can go back and make edits and tweaks. You can change those. You can change the aspect ratio, etc. So, and speaking of aspect ratio, we talked about social media and how you can customize these videos based off of the platform. Right now, I have this as a landscape video, so it's widescreen, it's 16:9. Maybe it's something I put on my website. But if I wanted to change this to, let's say, 9:16, I can simply click 9:16 portrait, and it's going to change the aspect ratio. You can see that it put the logo now in the bottom left-hand corner of the 9:16 version of this. So like I mentioned with the My Projects, you can create one as 16:9, download it, go back into that project, change it to 916, and have the exact same video, but have it for two different formats, have it for two different use cases very, very quickly and easily. So that's a little bit about text to video. And again, like I said, this screen that you see here, this edit video screen, is going to be it's going to be a common occurrence as we go through. So the next one is our blog to video. And I've gone ahead and I guess advanced or taken one step out, and I put in a URL into our home screen. So if I go back to Pictory and I show you the URL to our article to video, you simply put in a URL here. So what I've done is I went to Jeff's site, I went to Learning Revolution, and I found a past blog that I could use as a demo. A lot of you are part of Learning Revolution, you're in Jeff's network, so you're probably familiar with this content, or at least familiar with the idea of this content. So I put in the URL here, and this screen here is the screen that it comes up with. So it's how to run an evergreen webinar. Looks like this article was shared on January 3rd. What happens with Pictory is we pull in the full source article, and you can see everything here on the left-hand side. So I can scroll through it. I can see all of the images as part of it. I can see the full layout of this article. So you can see it's a fairly long article. There's a lot of content here, a lot of really good content. But if I were to take all of this content and turn it into a video, it'd probably be a 10-minute video. And that kind of defeats the purpose of short form content. So what the AI has done is the AI has provided a summary here on the right-hand side. It's gone through and it's picked out all of the most relevant pieces of this article. And this is based off of our models. This is based off of our training. And as we train it, as we get more people using article to video, it's just going to continue to get better and better. But that's not to say that you can't make edits to this. So right now you can see the first one is how to run an evergreen webinar. That's the title of the article. That's going to be the very beginning of the video. From here, kind of goes through, says, what is an evergreen webinar? Maybe I want to actually include more text from this paragraph here. So all I have to do is highlight it, mouse over it with my mouse. This cycle keeps repeating itself. Maybe I want to add this in to the video. If I do, I simply click on it. It's going to highlight that content and it's going to add it to the AI powered summary on the right. So the AI is getting you 95% of the way there. And then you, as the person that wrote the content that has intimate knowledge of it, can go through quickly and easily and say, I don't want that, or I want that. And now all of a sudden you're able to create a video out of this source article. So how do I do that? And what happens? I click next. You'll see, again, template library, very common. It's using the exact same process. We're trying to keep the process the same, regardless if you start with text or article or video to video, which we'll jump into in a second. So from here, I can click the exact same template. I can choose the aspect ratio. Again, same sort of process. And then what's happening is it's doing the exact same thing that we saw on the script or the text to video. It's taking the text and it's matching it to the stock image and stock video library, but it's also pulling in any relevant images or videos that are part of the article. So it's using the videos and images that are part of the article to provide as that background content, which we'll see here in a second. So as you can see, 21 scenes, looks like it's just about completed, and now it's complete. So you can go through here quickly and easily. You can see, hey, it pulled in the title image from the article, how to run an evergreen webinar. So I have that as part of this video. It's pulling in applicable imagery from the article. So if you're wanting to create a rich media version of that text-based content to run side by side, accompany that on the website, share on social media, again, you're able to do that with existing content. So you're not having to start from scratch. You're starting from, closer to the finished product. I see here in the chat really quick, Ian asked about libraries being included. So the libraries are included in the subscriptions. We have a couple different subscription types, and based off of the subscriptions, you would get access to more of the libraries, more of the content. So that's part of the subscription itself. And then also asked about creating your own templates. So right now, you would be able to edit the templates that we have, but we are working on the ability for you to actually physically or create your own templates within the app that you can then ultimately customize from there as well. So hopefully that helps. Sorry, Ian, about the delay in answering those questions there. But again, you can see the exact same process that we went through from script to video. So it's matching, it's finding relevant images as part of it. And you'd be able to go through and use the exact same process, visuals, audio, text, elements, styles, branding, etc., to essentially do the exact same thing that we just did with script to video. So I'm not going to go through all of these again, just show you how you can easily make those changes or create videos and have the same process regardless of where you start or the types of content that you start with. So that's URL to video. Again, same process that we have with script to video. It's just starting with a different type of content. It's starting with a published piece of content. And then finally, we have our edit videos using text. So this is the third, kind of option, edit videos using text here. This is pulling in existing video or audio content and then allowing you to easily repurpose that content. So again, like I said, it's video or audio. You can upload an MP3 or an MP4 and quickly and easily use AI to extract some of the best content from that. So I've gone ahead and skipped because first thing we do is we transcribe the content. We transcribe either that audio or the video content. So I didn't want you to have to sit here and watch the computer transcribe or wait for that to go through. But within Pictory, you can upload the video. So I've gone ahead and uploaded it. In this case, I uploaded an audio podcast. This is one of Jeff's podcasts that he did. Looks like with someone named Celisa Steele, Leading Learning Podcast. This was an episode that I downloaded and then uploaded to Pictory. So you can see the first thing that we do is we transcribe it. So on the left-hand side, you can see it has labeled the speakers. So you can see everywhere where Celisa talks, everyone where Jeff talks, etc. And you can go through and you can see the entire transcript. It's about a 24, almost 25-minute transcript. And it allows you to see where each person speaks. So in this case, you are interacting with the video by interacting with the text. And no longer are you having to upload this to Final Cut or Premiere and listening for the right audio inflection where someone says something where you want to mark that, to clip it out, do all of those things. In this case, you can quickly and easily search for different keywords that you might want to highlight. You can also have the AI auto highlight the video for you. So again, my apologies. I uploaded this video about an hour or so ago to make sure I'd have everything ready to go. And I probably need to refresh it. But ultimately, the auto highlight, this dropdown, will automatically select different highlights, different durations based off of what you give it. So we either have 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and 10 minutes, I believe. And from there, the AI will go through the full transcript and will pick out all of the most relevant sentences or paragraphs to match that predetermined length. So I'll give you a sense of what that looks like just by simply highlighting some of this, so that way you can kind of see it. But ultimately, let's say the AI has picked out a few different sentences. So maybe it picks out this sentence and then maybe pick this sentence that Jeff spoke. Again, I'm just duplicating essentially what the AI would choose so I can show you what will happen on the next screen. And again, this is just simply a black background because there's no audio. This is just MP3, but you're able to do this with audio files as well. I want you to get the idea of being able to transcribe something and then interact with it. So I'll just highlight a few more here so that way you can kind of see what's happening here. Okay, so I've now turned the 25-minute video into a 1 minute and second video. So the next thing I want to call out here is the templates. So at the bottom, you can see that we've got a couple of different templates, the templates library, which is just the basic ones, but there's also the My Templates section. So under My Templates, you can see all of the ones that have been created, and you can see the various ones that I have created specifically. So I'm going to go ahead and select JPP template so you can see what that looks like when we go ahead and go to the next screen. But you can actually see it here to begin with. So there are a few, so I'm going to pause and answer those really quick, and then we'll get to the next screen here. So Matt asked about the regular problems uploading YouTube videos. So yes, Matt, to answer your question, occasionally that breaks, and that is because YouTube will update their API and various endpoints, and we won't get notification around that. So we have to be a little bit more reactive to some of those things. So every time that comes up, we do our best to fix that as quickly as possible. But that's a very good point. Not only can you upload your own videos, but you can also pull in videos from YouTube. So you can, hopefully that answers your question. And then Cheryl asks if we have to give it some context of your business or industry before the creation process. And Cheryl, the answer is no. We have 4 years of data that we have used to consistently train our AI models and looking at what are the best highlights based off of the text transcript that we're working with. So as we do, as we get more and more users on a daily basis, that's constantly being trained, constantly being updated, and the video summarization is very, very, very good. I mean, I've been using it myself on my podcast, and it's amazing to see the stuff it pulls out of a 30-minute conversation and turn that into a 2-minute kind of highlight, if you will. So very, very, very accurate stuff that you're able to ultimately pull that short form video out of. So as we go through here, I'll just go to the next screen. Again, these are just some random highlights. Before I go to the next screen, you can see here at the top of the transcription, you can see the full transcription, and then you can see the highlights that I chose. And you can see anything that you want to either interact with. So maybe there's something you want to remove, edit, etc. The last thing before we do go to the next screen is you can see these places where there are these kind of like pink highlighted words, and I use and a lot in my speech, and I'm so thankful that I have Pictory to clean that up, because here I can click remove filler words, and those words are now gone from the transcript and they're gone from the video. So now I have the opportunity to record something, not necessarily have to think about the words that I say, but really allow myself to be in the moment with somebody if I'm having a conversation with them, and then clean that up easily and effectively with something like AI. So now that I've done the cleanup, I can go to the customized highlights video. And again, you're going to see you're going to see a screen that we've seen before. The ability to go in and add your text, add your GIFs, emojis, stickers, etc. But the one thing I want to call out on this next screen is the branding. So we talked about branding. We talked about how you can brand your videos that you're creating with Pictory with template. So you can see here, if I go down to branding, you can see that I've got an intro, I've got a scene level branding, and then I've got an outro. So we're looking at the outro in here. This is my podcast. Just push play. This is just simple piece of still artwork that I've then added a background track to by default because I have it saved as JPP template. Whenever I select that, it automatically puts my intro scene, my logo on each one of the scenes of my video, and then my outro scene. So I don't have to do this every time I create a video. I just simply select this template. It automatically puts my intro. It automatically adds the logo on each one of my scenes, and then it automatically adds my outro. So all of the videos that I create with Pictory, regardless if it's script to video, article to video, edit videos using text, they all have the same look and feel. So there's that brand consistency as well. The one thing to call out is you can see one of these scenes has the text on screen. So I might say I'm really interested in knowing if the ending to the poem is working well. And this is just something that I highlighted from the transcript of this podcast. In this case, there's no imagery that accompanies this, but because you have access to our stock image and stock video library, if you wanted to come into the visual section and maybe say something like poem, you can find a relevant piece of a relevant stock image or stock video that now you can turn this MP3 into an MP4. If it was an MP4 that you uploaded, you would see the people, whatever was on screen from the recorded video, you would see that here as part of your content that you've started with. So I could simply click on this, and now it's going to put this on screen, but still have the audio of Jeff and Celisa talking behind this image. So it gives you the ability to tap into that stock image, stock video library. It allows you to just create a more dynamic video experience. Oh, and by the way, we started with a 25-minute video, and I have a 1 minute and 26-second video that I was able to create in a matter of minutes. So it's really saving you a lot of time, energy, effort. And again, from here, you can change the format as well. So if I wanted this in 9:16 format or 1:1, I could do that easily with the click of a button. So those are kind of that's crash course, right, in Pictory. I've thrown a lot at you. If there's any questions, any other questions that are coming up, would love to kind of understand that. But would love to bring Jeff back on board as well to have him throw out any thoughts and kind of get his knee-jerk reaction to all of this.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Marc. I've kind of played around with some of the things that you're doing there myself in terms of text and audio content. One of the other things that I've experimented with that I think probably would be very useful to most people in the Learning Revolution audience is taking webinars that we've done. So those would be MP4 files, and uploading those, and then being able to quickly pare them down to like highlights from those webinars. And it could be a webinar, it could be, course content that you've created, but being able to take, your full course or full webinar or masterclass that you've offered and pare it down into some highlight reels from that you can use for social media. You can use for content within a learning community that you may have going on. There's just a lot of different ways to work with that content to get it down into from the big learning experience down into a micro learning or a marketing type experience using the tool. And again, very, very easy to do with the same sort of process you just showed there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually do that for our own webinars. All of the webinars that I've done, I will upload it to Pictory, and then I will use Pictory to pull out certain like mic drop moments. That's what I like to call them. Maybe there was something that was just so such a key takeaway that I'm like, man, I wish I could really easily extract that. So-and-so, Jeff said this amazing thing. Great. I just go to where I know what Jeff said. I highlight it, download video, and it simply just downloads the video of the text that I've highlighted. So it's really, really easy to extract that as part of it. So again, lots of stuff you can do with Pictory. I probably need a full 2 hours to give you all of the overviews of what you can do, but hopefully that kind of gives you a sense of, how easy it is to interact with those MP3s or MP4s just simply by highlighting that text. But you're absolutely right. Webinars are a great thing to do. Interviews that you've done with people, podcasts, etc.
Yeah, definitely. I see we do have a few things in the chat there.
Yeah. It looks like Matt asked if we can go over how to do line breaks in the text when uploading other videos. He's had trouble getting the AI to break thoughts where he wants it to, especially when using the caption feature. So this is basically uploading a video using AI to summarize it, and then editing the amount of text that's on screen in each one of those scenes. Matt, is that accurate? Let me see if I can pull the transcript back up here as we
he says yes, you've got it.
Okay, perfect. I'm just pulling the transcript back up. We can see if we can jump into this really quick. But when you're in the transcript itself, there's the ability to merge sentences. So like if you're highlighting sentences that are really, really close to one another, and sometimes it will put those different scenes, you can actually merge the sentences together so it comes through essentially as one scene, if you will. So it'll collect those multiple scenes together in one scene. So it's taking forever for my transcript to load here. And once I get it to load, I'll show you, or we can follow up afterwards as well. But there is a way to do that. You just have to do it at the transcript level before you get into the edit videos using text, or before you get into the customized videos, customized highlight screen.
So something I would, challenge, or, at least just encourage folks who are on the webinar and or, listening to the recording to do, is to think through some of these scenarios as they might apply to whatever you're doing with your content to put it out there. So, are there some instances where, just putting together a short script around some point of thought leadership or whatever it is, and putting it up there and putting a video together, think of like one or two instances of that right now in your business where that would be useful to do, jot that down as something to try. Look at what you've done in terms of whether it's blog content or articles you've written for people or whatever. What are a couple of those things that, you'd like to try to do what Marc did with? Most people here are probably offering, some sort of webinar or been creating videos or whatever, and, somewhat longer form content for the experiences that you're trying to teach or convey your expertise on. What are some of those you might want to bring in and, condense down into those, 1 to 5 minute experiences that are going to be valuable to people. So just, kind of think up your own use cases and think through, how valuable would that be to be able to do that rapidly, because probably you're not doing it all right now. If you're like me, it's like, it's just not happening because, it's a good idea, but you just don't have the time to do it. It's also worth thinking about too, and Marc, you might have some perspective on this. Like for everybody on here, this might be a tool that you personally use. I will say personally, like I like playing around with Pictory and seeing what it can do, and I might use it for a few things myself, but I'm more thinking about it as I can get somebody to leverage this for me. Like if you've got a virtual assistant, if you've got, team members, if you want to go out to Fiverr, find a contractor or whatever, this is going to make any contract help that you're using or employee help you're using that much more powerful in accomplishing your goals. So, think of it for your own personal purposes, you hands-on using it, but also think about if you could, find the right person to hand it to, you can probably just crank out so much relevant content for your audience so quickly with this kind of leverage helping you.
Jeff, you're absolutely right. And it's an interesting point that you brought up. We've seen a lot of that over the last several months, so much so that we've developed a tool that allows you to have one single subscription with multiple users under it, and we call it our Teams plan. So if you wanted to have or invite other contributors, you could do that, and then you could have insight into the content that they're share projects back and forth with one another. So it really is, more of a collaborative thing that you're able to do with the team's plan now. And our plan is to continue to iterate on that and make it, as collaborative as just about any other thing that you can think of. I mean, we think about Google Docs, and every time you share a doc with somebody and you're typing in there and someone else goes and types over, basically it's going to be that same sort of feel. I could create a video, I can invite Jeff in, and Jeff could put his spin on the video that I started to create, and we could collaborate on that video. So we do have a team's plan that really lends itself to that sort of environment for anyone that's looking to have maybe a VA or anyone else on their team that might want to be the hand raiser to say, I want to do Pictory.
And I know that Pete has said in the chat that he's got a team of 4 people using it. So I'm imagining cranking out a lot of good content based on the assets that you have.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I'm sure in situations like that, right? It's really nice if you have someone, maybe you have a writer that's writing your blog. They could become the blog to video person because they know the content that they wrote, and now that could kind of be their purview. Maybe you have somebody that is hosting and taking care of the web hosting. Oh, now that could be, part of a team. So there's a variety of different ways to kind of structure it. And, I think it really just lends itself to that, these types of situations and these types of scenarios.
Definitely.
I don't think we have any other questions or anything. Happy to kind of dive into, next. Jeff, specifically, what favorite, I guess, my question for you, as opposed to fielding questions from everyone else, what was your favorite part about the demo? Like, what part of it was just, I guess, that stuck out the most to you?
Well, I think something that, we probably need to come up with a game plan for, but you brought in the podcast content that's Celise and I, who's my co-founder at Gawith, which is the company that the Learning Revolution falls within. So my partner in business and the co-host of that podcast, we've now got, nearly 400 episodes of the podcast. It's all been audio based. We've never really done any video with it. Every once in a while, maybe we've gotten some clips of people that we're interviewing on it, but just have not done a lot with video. And it's an extremely valuable asset for us. I mean, we just won an award for it recently. We're known for it. It's the kind of the vehicle for our thought leadership, but having a plan for potentially going back through and some of the best episodes, starting with those, and figuring out how we do create some content from that'll help with marketing it, but also just help with taking some of the most valuable points from some of those most valuable episodes and having another way to put them out there for our followers, our community to learn from. I think that feels like something that we definitely need to put some thought into how we would make that happen.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of just even having like the Learning Revolution logo as even just what you use for the artwork. It doesn't have to get crazy. It might just be like literally 2 sentences of that podcast where, maybe it's the interaction between you and, your host, co-host, then pulling that out and saying, in case you missed it, here is when we talked about, whatever it was. Right. And it just simply has, big Learning Revolution as the logo, and, that's all you need. So it wouldn't even be that much as far as video editing, is concerned. It just allows you to take, again, that existing audio content, but put that little MP4 spin on it.
Yep. Definitely one of those things. Like, you can get carried away with this stuff real quickly. Like, we're gonna do this, and this. And I think what you're saying is like, start with some simple things that you can just, really get those wins with. And because we have 0 video content out there right now, or just about 0. So going from 0 to, having, 20 like really simple videos like that out there, that's already like a huge gain. And then, start building from there.
Absolutely. Well, one last question that Cheryl asked. So sure we address this, and then I'd love to kind of share the special offer that we have for anyone that's listening here. But Cheryl asked what kind of support we offer. So currently we have email support. Support at pictory.ai is what we currently offer. We are working on some different things from chat support as well. So stay tuned for that. But our support team is laser focused on making sure that we answer the questions in a timely manner. So much so that we're very close to having 24-hour staffing, as part of that. So, round the clock support via email, as it were. So hopefully that answers that question. But I know we teased this at the beginning. We worked with Jeff and Jackie to provide a discount for anyone here that's listening that wants to get started with Pictory. And actually, good call out, Pete. There is a free Facebook group that we have with over 10,000 members. Also, that is a good resource where people are, answering each other's questions and supporting one another. So thanks for jumping in there, Pete. But again, to go back to the promotion. So we partnered with Jeff and Learning Revolution on this, and we want to offer anyone that is listening to this webinar the 20% off of their Pictory subscription with the code LEARNREV, LEANREV, LEARNREV, all lowercase or all uppercase, all uppercase. It is case sensitive. We can throw that there in the chat as well. But we want people to feel free to sign up, and there is a limit. So it is exclusive for the first 50 signups that come from the webinar today. So first 50 people to sign up can get 20% off of Pictory using the code LEARNREV. So we're excited to see what you do with it. We're excited to work with Jeff and Jackie and the whole team at Learning Revolution on helping them create more content and repurpose their existing content. But we appreciate everyone tuning in, being part of this, asking great questions. We're here to support you with anything that you have as it pertains to Pictory, and we definitely love to see you as a Pictory customer. Any closings or ideas here?
No, I'm gonna put my email here in the chat. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, about this, about using video and in your courses or other parts of your expertise-based business, definitely feel free to do that. I think most people here probably know my email anyway, but there it is in the chat, just jacob@learningrevolution.net. And this is something I'm playing around with, doing things with, so I'm kind of immersed in it myself. And the reason we wanted to do this is because I am seeing so much value in it, and we wanted to connect with the Pictory folks around how we can bring this to the Learning Revolution audience. So I'm happy to help anybody out who's sort of thinking through their video strategy and where this might fit in.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're so glad to have you as part of the Pictory family, Jeff. Looking forward to everything that you do with it. And I will also throw my email address in there. If anyone has any questions specifically about Pictory, please feel free to reach out to me. If I don't know the answers, I'll definitely get you an answer. But we appreciate everyone being here, and hopefully we'll get to do another one of these again in the future, where we can kind of dive into some specific things. But we'll be in constant communication with Jeff and his team, and maybe something that comes up in the not too distant future that we can really dive into a little more specifically. So thanks so much for tuning in, and go sign up for Pictory.
Good. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jeff.